What is the saddest thing that has happened to you? Next comment. My mother killed herself. Maybe that is a little dramatic, but she got sick and refused treatment. She also did things that made it worse. She also attempted suicide several times before that. Next comment. I buried my wife, my only child, and my only grandchild. Next comment. Stroke at birth resulting in lifelong physical disabilities and being gang raped when I was 19. Next comment. Had precancerous growths in my colon. Got them removed. I was 23. Not one single member of my immediate family, mother, sister, or two brothers who all lived at home and knew I had to have the procedure, came with me or even remembered that I was having the surgery or asked if they removed it all safely without me needing further treatment. A co-worker of mine remembered. She called me and found out I didn't have a ride home since I drove myself there and didn't know you can't drive after being put under. She took me home with her and took care of me that weekend. That's how I found out how incredibly little I matter to my family. Next comment. Next comment. My late grandma Bassett suffering from dementia. She was the woman who taught me to read, and she couldn't even remember my name towards the end. It was so sad, it was like a part of her had already died before she passed away for good in 2012. Next comment. The total alienation of my daughters by their BS Catholic mother, after a divorce. Used to not discuss it but finding it's quite common. Have seriously pondered starting a org to inform and support parents in this situation. Courts are useless BTW. Most judges either don't care or are just solely focused on the support check. Honestly disgusted with the US courts as it pertains to dad's rights. Next comment. In grade 2 my mom bought me a purple snowsuit. I liked it and wore it to school. At recess all the kids in my class were playing tag. I went over to join and someone runs up to me and says, "You know you can't play, you purple girl," and then laughed and ran back to play. So I kind of just hung out by myself the entire winter at recess 3. Just to top it off, I'm not a girl. Next comment. I didn't put F in chat once. Next comment. Next comment. I'm just kinda tired. I feel like I'm 75 and worn down by life. Each day makes me want to close my eyes and retract from life itself. Things don't seem worth it really anymore. I'm especially tired of making bitchy comments like this one, and never doing what I say I want to do. What's really pathetic is I've got nothing on some of these other comments. Next comment. Next comment. Being misdiagnosed for a third of my life and being put on a medicine that is the worst thing to put someone on with my condition. I always think of what my life could have been had I not been misdiagnosed or simply not diagnosed with anything at all so that it played out normally rather than exasperated. Next comment. Dead pets, I'm a complete mess every time it has happened, 5 in my lifetime. The last time it happened I was already an adult, so I decided not to have any more pets ever. I just didn't want to go through the loss of a part of my soul again, or I will be soulless by the time I die. 1 month later I had my baby yellow Labrador and baby boxer who are now 6 years old. Next comment. I once read that everyone has to suffer a little hunger and a little cold to really be empathic to their fellow human beings. Well, I've had my fair share of both. Times like these is something I wish upon no one. Even if they forge your character, because believe me, that stays with you. I'm sure there are better ways to learn those hard lessons. Next comment. Maybe it's not really sad, but my parents don't believe in my success. I want to be a cameraman in the future. I love the cinematography, but my mom and dad think that it's stupid. Of course it won't affect on my choice, but it's really depressing when the closest people to you don't support your interests. Next comment. 2 moments from my life so far. 1. After finding out that my dad had passed away and the last time I talked to him was an argument within which I said things I deeply regret, I attempted suicide, via a bottle of hydros, out of depression, because I ended things on a bad note with him, plus my college GPA was shit. I failed that suicide because I began choking on my own vomit and my GF at the time came by my apartment and helped me to stay alive. 2. After working barely 1 year as a financial advisor after college, I quit that job for mental health reasons. The job was giving me depression and I was not happy wasting 5 years on a finance degree I didn't care for. During the time I spent a summer soul searching trying to figure out life, I got into with my mom and she eventually told me I was a failure and that she gave up on me. I got kicked out of the house and spent another year trying to figure out life. It's been 3 years now and she still refuses to talk to me. I just want to reconcile, but it probably will never happen. Next comment. I was in my maths. I feel depressed 75% of the time and maths is normally 50% of it. I felt so lonely and I felt like nobody liked me. I knew no one likes me. My one best friend was 2 sets below me. My anxiety was acting up and I needed to burst into tears. A girl in my class really hates me and today she acted up. They were talking about the coronavirus and I turned to look and she shouted, "Daisy, you have the coronavirus," very arrogantly, and started making fun of my bad cough, even though that's a tic I can't control, clearing my throat. People hear it? I asked to go to the bathroom as I knew I was going to break down. I ran as fast as I could, locked the door, and cried for 10 minutes without a pause. I was so loud but no one came in, so no one heard me while I was sat on the floor, in emotional agony about how lonely I felt and how worthless, stupid, and ridiculously ugly I was and am. I will never be able to describe the pain I felt that day and the pain I still feel. It's such an empty and heavy feeling all in one. It's like something is sitting in your chest and you can never show anyone because they'll tell you you're faking it because you have no reason for feeling this. I came back, my face blotchy. It was obvious what I went down there for. I came out breaking down again. I ran to my best friend and I hugged her so much. She immediately knew I was heartbroken. Without her, that's what happens. Still the saddest story I have because of that heavy pain I couldn't get rid of. Next comment. Next comment. The first dog I ever had that I actually loved died a few days before Christmas. Next comment. Next comment. I had to make the call to let my dad die. He was late-stage cancer, developed pneumonia, and went downhill so fast. I had to sit there while he made calls saying goodbye to his closest friends. It took about 20 hours before he was non-responsive. He hadn't finished his do not resuscitate form and was basically kept alive by drugs, but his heart rate kept dropping. By that point, I knew he was ready for it to be over from the days leading up, and anything else was just me not wanting to let go. So I called the doctor in to make the call to stop the extra. All they did was keep him on pain meds and oxygen, and a couple hours later I watched him die. No one had ever warned me about the gasping restart when someone dies, how long it drags on. He stopped breathing several times, and just when it looked like it was over he'd gasp back again and take a couple more breaths. Then stop for what seemed like forever. Then another gasp. So on. I still hate myself for making that call, no matter the fact I knew he was done. He was tired of the pain. At least I got to say goodbye, and helped him get other goodbyes in before he gave up completely. Next comment. I know this isn't even close to as bad as others, but honestly, when I got friend-zoned, it was so bad because it was mixed in with a bad sickness I have and they were my closest friend. I told them and they didn't talk to me for months. We are good now though. Next comment. My Kickstarter failed. I was homeless from an addiction. I was cheated on. I was beaten up twice and had my nose and orbits broken. I had my heart broken several times. Next comment. This is not as bad as a lot of people's, but this was definitely losing my childhood cat. It sounds so dumb, but she was older than me, so she was around for obviously all of my life. She was pretty much my best friend, and was there for everything. Watching her health deteriorated in front of my eyes was super depressing, and I couldn't be there to put her down. After her death, I pretended everything was fine and my whole family and friends obviously assumed so. On the inside I was very depressed and did not know what to do. I am thinking about getting another cat, but I feel a bit like that would be replacing her, or that it wouldn't be the same and that I would be disappointed. I still miss her every day and I think I will for the rest of my life. Next comment. Next comment. Next comment. I was carrying a bucket of lava. And I opened a chest, which burned down my entire mining outpost base. Since it was all made of wood. So I said I wouldn't do it again. Mining outpost rebuilt. Everything fine. Less than a week later, I completely forgot. Opened my chest with the bucket of lava equipped. Next comment. My girl told me she didn't love me anymore and left me. Sucks having all the love in the world for someone and they don't feel the same at all. Next comment. Next comment. It's not as sad as what other people here wrote, but it's such a series of sad events in a short time lapse that it's almost funny. Around 6 years ago, both of my grandmothers died within 2 weeks apart. And just before it happened, I had a hair incident and I had to shave it all. I'm a woman. I was also facing my first heartbreak at the time. I was in a depression even before they passed away. So I was mourning the end of the love of my life, the death of my grandmothers, the only grandparents that I had left, while having to face my whole extended family bald-headed. Next comment. Next comment. Next comment. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed.